look at the range of mountains from Madre Grande going all the way out towards Mexico, if you look at that, you see, you can look at it in a different way. You can say that very high point is maybe just the top of her hair, and then she's laying down, and you can see the foreground. You see her leg folded up. And then you start seeing more and more things. You can see, you start looking and you go, truly, that's a magnificent mountain.
Now this is the proposed site of Blackwater. This is the valley right here. Once you've learned to see the lady, you have to get to see the lady there. Once you've seen her, you'll see her face is peeking right down into this valley. Okay? This is the Mother Mountain. After you've seen the lady, you can spot her looking right down into that valley. Okay? That's the Mother Mountain. That's Margaret Grundy. It was changed to Mother Grundy, I believe, during the 20s, because they wouldn't like to give any respect to the Indians. Mother Grundy is a little busybody person. That's what it was in the 20s. So they turned her into a little busybody, not the Great Mother. That's what they did in the 20s. You're now coming up to the snake. And I want to remind anybody, probably you don't know this, but the mother and the snake are the two widest distributed symbols on this planet. The mother and the snake are found all the way around the Pacific Rim, down China, down to East Asia, up to Madagascar, through India. You'll find these images of the mother and the snake. So it's not surprising that they should shape things according to their symbolism when they arrived here, like I say, between 3,000 to 7,000 years ago. Now this is the next picture. This is my little scribbly version of the snake with the bird in his mouth. This one matches up here. I'm going to pass this around. And you'll see the snake's head there. You'll see the edges of the bird's wing. These are very rough about it. I would like people to go out and look. The people who want to see the Sphinx of America. This thing is the largest natural landscape sculpture in North America. I do have some other pictures of some other things in the old world where the whole hillscapes were sculpted. This is the only known case of a landscape sculpture. Okay, now, what does this have to do with Blackwater? 7 years is the minimum amount of time any claim for a sacred place has taken to process legally. 7 years. If we make a claim for this as a sacred place, it will be a minimum of 7 years before it can be decided. In most cases, it's gone up over 30 years in the United States of America. Okay, so that's just partly what this is. That's a delaying tactic.
Are you making that claim?
Excuse me?
Are you making
That's what I'm beginning right here. This is the beginning of this whole thing. I was going to publish this. I was just about to begin interviewing the elders last year because I had not gotten enough local feedback. The more I found out how little was left because these people were killed, the Dominicans had everybody in this area slaughtered because this was the center of the Kumeyaay proto-state. And it's called a proto-state in archaeology, one of the only in the world, which is just before Pharaohs, the Pharaoh organization of Egypt. They had a cluster of priests and one priest above them. And here there was a cluster of shamans and one shaman above them.
How do you make the claim?
That's part of what we're going to find out. I'm an amateur. I was doing this. I was going to write a book. I was going to have this. I'm not prepared. I only show you what I now know. Okay, and there has to be professionals come in to verify everything I've got. I'm an amateur. Okay, but I'm giving you what I got. Now this is the current version of the migration to North America. It's not through the Bering Strait. According to recent genetic research, they came down the coast. They went up the coast of China, they came down the coast of Alaska, they came down the coast of California. Okay, this is the current archaeological theory, the oldest mythological group in North America. Coagulated and condensed their symbolism right here. The feathered serpent of Mexico, the serpents of the Pueblos, the Maui serpent culture out in the Mississippi Basin. Originally, that symbolism coagulated was solidified here from that mountain, that snake, and that woman. Okay, this is my that's the current version of how America was first settled. That's also backed up by genetic research at this time. But these are the sea routes and the ocean routes across the Pacific Ocean. And there is number 2 theory has to do with how the Polynesians settled North America. And Polynesian mythology is completely connected entirely to the mythology of North America. This place, and there's a lot of research to prove it, is the first place they went inland from going up the rivers. They had gone up the rivers, they got up the rivers. This is the first place they crossed over because it was like an island. You go up Baja to the other side, it's like an island. You can cross back over. They were coastal people. And that is when I believe this was first done. I believe about 7,000 BC. All right. And this is a little this shows you the extent of the Kumeyaay Nation. If you look on the top of Baja, you'll see the extent of the Kumeyaay Nation. Those are the language groups. It's a Kumeyaay family language group. And the distribution of this language group across North and Central America indicates it is the oldest mythological language structure in North America. That which coagulated and spread from here. And this last one here is the trade routes that connect them to the Zunis, to the Northern California tribes, and the Mayans. Because there are trade routes that run through this place. There's that trail, the Pacific Coast Trail that goes up to Alaska. It was part of an Indian trail that ran down to Bolivia. All right, this was part of a walking highway. And that Pacific Coast Trail that's right out here next to it was part of this Indian highway that runs all the way to Bolivia. Okay, now this is just a collection of petroglyphs and there's some maps back here. You want to look at the main map. This shows the primary places of ancient civilizations connected onto trade routes over the oceans and stuff. And it shows that San Diego County should theoretically be an intersection of a major culture. Just as there is in the Amazon Basin, there is evidence of an ancient culture that's suppressed by the Brazilian government because they don't want to be restricted on their development in the Amazonian Basin. Okay, but essentially what I'm saying is that once the legal process has begun, everything, these are just bits. I've taken 7 years putting this together. These are just little bits of what has taken me 7 years. That place is actually the cradle the woman is watching. The mother mountain is resting with her jug. She's pouring out water upon the earth, and she's watching her cradle, which is the valley they're putting Blackwater in. And that's why I got upset. And that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm telling you this. And they go ahead and ask me questions. I got a bunch of books over here I can show you pictures from and stuff, but I mean, that's it in essence. They're coming to corrupt the mother of the father, the mother of the child of the mother and the father. Okay, basically what symbolizes our planet Earth, us as the crib creatures of the planet Earth, the children of the sun of the earth, us, the human race.
Some of the are some of the rocks in these pictures been placed?
That's what they have to find out.
Oh,
that's part of what the research has to.
But you have evidence of some being placed, or you just
well, they're
possibility?
too perfect. The placements are too perfect. There's in that little picture book, there's like eagles and bears out scattered around. There's all kinds of animal figures, boulder size, and there's just too many of them in too small a place to be an accident. They're made to look like they just happened by accident. That's the way they were done, to look like it's part of nature. Yeah. That's the wizard stone. That's why they call it. But he's an old man wearing his antlers like any Stone Age wizard or witch doctor or guy who was participating in a sacred dance. And he is an old man because he has a long beard. And he's just standing there, and he's standing up and he's looking out toward this area. That may be the signature of the Michelangelo who did this. Making a place for people to come and see visions.
Yeah.
Where they would come and they would see things that would teach them. And that, when someone would come and someone would see, here is the place, the living place, this is the spot where the great wizard is, and there is he standing right before the great mother mountain, and knowing that you have come on pilgrimage from the snake after you have seen the snake, and you were being shown all these wonders.
Okay, so that's Mount Kuchima.
It means the high exalted holy place.
Okay, so that's Mount Kuchima. Now we're gonna...
Or Kuchama.
Kuchama? Okay. And that's 94 over there.
94.
This is the old 94 we're standing on.
Yes, this is the
And we're here with Fred. How do you say your last name, Fred?
Mar.
Okay.
It's Gaelic. It used to be Meagher. One of the three kings that let St. Patrick's into Ireland had my last name, one of the three Druid kings. And of the three, it was their job, the Meagher families in Irish Chronicles, to be masters of the gin of Ireland, who became the little fairies that the church turned them into. But they were the masters of the gin, my whole family.
Okay.
Look right up here behind me at the base of this power line tower.
Yeah.
You'll see a great big stone. That thing's about 40, 50 feet high. That's the standing stone. There's props underneath it. It was stood up. That stone does not stand normally. And on December 21st, the shadow of Little Tecate climbs up that little hill and it points directly to the bottom of that standing stone. That was placed there as a marker for the year. Okay, that's the beginning of it. If you look down here just below that standing stone, you'll see a circular area with two stones in front of it. It's kind of like a little circular zone down there.
Oh yeah, let me.
Okay. Now traditionally in primitive cultures all over the world, there's a maze, a dance that is danced on the approach to the labyrinth, to the other world, to the afterlife. From Google Earth, you look down on this site, you amplify it enough, there's a double helix of rocks that approaches those two stones at the doorway to the other world. It actually forms a double helix, the maze way to go into the other world. Now you pan back up here. These are the wings that I saw is this hillside. You can't see without the shadow. But this whole hillside was filled with shadowed feathers. Okay? And as you move up the hillside here, now I don't know if I can show this to you through the camera, but there's an eye up there with a little slit. It's not being lit right now. Up on that, there's a lizard eye. It's like there's a shadow right there. There's a little triangle like inside of it.
Okay.
That's his eye. All right.
I think
This side eye. This is his near eye. From a distance, he has a distance eye from the top of Summit Road.
Okay, are you talking about that dark
That
shadowy
dark
area?
shadow area that is sometimes lit so it looks exactly like a serpent's eye. That little triangle. That's one of the things I think was made because it's too perfectly placed and it's too perfectly shaped like a serpent. I believe that triangle was cut out in the front of his face. It's the basis of the whole Aztec Empire's insistence on the great snake who swallows the kings. This was where the great shamans were made, was here. This is where they were swallowed by the snake. And that's the head of the bird that's in his mouth, this triangle over here. You don't see his wings except on certain days of the year when these shadows fill in on both sides.
Okay,
Shadows fill in.
so this triangle rock is the head of the bird.
That's the head of the bird that's in the mouth of the snake.
In the mouth of the snake.
Okay, and in Jungian psychology, the bird represents the highest aspirations, the highest thoughts of people. And the snake represents the deepest and darkest hidden thoughts of people. So this
Okay, where's the mouth of the snake?
The mouth is this whole ridge is his grin. There's a line that runs through it. It's his jawline. There's a space that in the front can either be seen as his nose or his mouth.
Oh, this whole thing is the mouth of the snake.
This whole ridge. And you can see his face from up on Summit Road once you come to recognize it. There's a larger eye on the other side that's much easier to see than this one. This is the little close-up eye.
Okay, now what you said before that spot up there or something. What is that? Right there.
Okay, that's the eye.
This one.
That is the mouth of the snake where the initiations all through the Aztec and Olmec and Mayan Empire.
That dark spot, the dark V.
Dark V. That all through
Doesn't look like a V from this angle so much.
No, not from this angle, but all through the Aztec, the Olmec, and the Mayan cultures. The Olmecs began their numerical system with the snake, whose lower jaw extends into infinity. And this, when you stand in front of the snake's face down in this valley and look that way, there are two, look just like his fangs, like his lower jaw is this entire huge valley. You can't see him from here. But in Polynesian mythology, the lower jaw was all common knowledge. All things that all the regular people knew was the lower jaw. And it was much, much larger. It engulfed all the people. Okay, that's his lower jaw, which extends 5 miles out. The secret knowledge of the kings and chiefs and the shamans was the top. It was the top where the eyes, the ears, and the nose were. The lower jaw is for the common people. And that's part of why I believe it was derived from Polynesian mythology. Okay, because it's the snake whose lower jaw engulfs all the people, extends out that way, and so there were very few adjustments needed to be made to turn this into a snake head. The Polynesians, it was an eel because they didn't have snakes. It was a giant eel. Okay, and all the classic elements of mythology from the entire Pacific Ring, from the Australians through the Southeast Asians, through the Polynesians, the Melanesians, the Hawaiians, the South Americans, involves a woman and a snake. And this, I believe, was created in response to that mythology as a place where, by psychological leverage, these people kept peace at 100 miles in every direction. That at the center of the Kumeyaay Nation was that they would send their shamans here to be trained. It was a secret to them. Only they knew about the snake. Everyone knew about the holy mountain. Only they knew about the snake, and only they knew about the lady in the hill. And that's why their knowledge died with them when they were killed.
So now, is it that the snake, which way does the body go of the snake?
That whole mountain is his body.
Oh,
On
okay.
the Tecate side, you look at this.
So this is the body,
you look at
it comes
Tecate,
down here, and then this is the head.
But you have to see from the city of Tecate, there are giant granite bands. There are 3 giant granite bands that make up the base of this mountain, seen from Tecate. So this is the body of the snake, is actually the high exalted holy place up above his body. And this is his head, which is why they said it took him 3 days to crawl into a council tent, because he was just so big.
Okay, so I think I'm seeing it now. That this is the mouth, kind of looking like this.
Whole ridge.
And then that's his eye up there at that his eye. And then back here, the bird head is in the very back of his mouth, right?
Back of his mouth, but you can't see the shadows inside the ridges here because the sun isn't running. It only happens certain times of day. But
So
it goes
that's
all the way to the end of this little valley as a wing.
That's the mouth of the snake. Eye of the snake. The bird head. And then this is probably the nostril or something
Or
of
the mouth. That's
the very tip of the mouth.
the very tip of the mouth. You see that from all the way up in the ridge.
And then maybe those are the fangs or something there. And so now we look down and he's looking down into this area down
this
here.
Valley. He's looking into this valley.
To that circle.
He's looking at the gateway to the other world, which has a double helix approaching.
And then this standing stone, very unusual standing
The
stone.
only one out in Southern California.
Okay, I want to go up to that standing stone. Is there a road going up there?
Yes, there is. The gate's open right now. If you
Oh,
want to go up.
we're gonna go up. Okay, there's a gigantic high voltage tower. We're up here at the Standing Rock. There's Fred. And then over there is that's where we were looking before, that's the snake mouth. Okay, there's Kuchima. And here we have,
I don't think I want to do it.
this is the road that was cut down to service these high tension wires.
I don't know if I can get over there, but at the base of this rock,
Yeah, I'll walk over there.
there's a bunch of shoved in stones that keep it stood up. I can't, my shoes are in my car. I didn't bring my
There's
shoes.
the monument to modern technology. And I'm going to hike up here. Pretty close to the rock now. There's a little station in the corner of it. And it's a massive rock. It's 20 feet away. I'm going to walk over there. Okay, I got myself over here. Okay, there's Mount Kuchima. Sacred Mountain. And we're standing right next to this mammoth boulder. Which is huge. And there's the high tension wire thing in the distance. I guess that thing is about 50 feet tall, at least 40. Now, would be okay, and then we see Highway 94. that's the new road there. And then this is the old road. And it goes down to Barrett Junction area. See the next tower there. And the slime keeps on going. So we should be able to see this from above. Wow, they put this tower right next to this rock. Oh, there's Fred there. Gives you an idea of the scale. Quite windy here. Yeah. I'm on the rock next door to this. There's tons of white. Tons I can get up here. Huge rock. Just the fact that that's standing is quite remarkable. Fred thinks it stood up on its own by the hands of man. I'm not sure that, but it's certainly interesting. Yeah, one more shot here. If we could come on down. That right there is supposedly the snake head. The bird in his mouth. There's the bird head. But from this angle, you can't get it quite. Where we were standing before is the best angle to see that. Okay. Standing stone. So, Fred, what do you say about this in terms of, you said December 21st, it does something?
Shadow travels up at a perfect point. It's just like an arrowhead. Travels up this hillside. It reaches right to the bottom of the stone, December 21st.
Okay, so that pointed peak right there is what he's talking about. Or is it, you mean that one or that one over there? That, okay, that one.
Actually, I was down there when I saw it. Might not be one of these things forms of, I think it's that one because it forms a perfect peak. It's that one.
Okay, we can't hear too well, the wind.
Russian corn and stuff started coming up after one of the fires.
Okay, so you're saying that...
I don't know if that is. These are things that experts have to figure out. And to me, it looks like a wall. You know, that's for the experts. That ain't for me.
It's either a rock formation that got cracked very uniformly, or the wall's set.
That's for the experts.
Side.
I don't know. I'm an amateur.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.